AI, like when we talk about it now, it feels very new and fresh, but I always go back to Siri is a great example for me. I've been using it for years to set timers and alarms and reminders. So it's always been there. Spell check, like all of that's always been around, but now it's really evolved into using more of those large language models. So I think it's always been there, but now it's really taking off and using it in a different way.
AI isn't the future, it's now. And whether you're in HR, sales, operations, or leadership, the choices you make today will determine whether you thrive or get left behind.
All right, y'all, today's a special episode because we have an in-house guest today on AI Voice or Victim. I am joined by my colleague, Susie Tunnicliffe, the Mrs. Susie Tunnicliffe, because she just got married, y'all. But she is Walk West Director of Client Services, and she leads some of the biggest accounts. Y'all, she brings a mix of creative and analytical problem solving to every single challenge that I see her face, and she's helping drive how our team thinks about AI on the client side and in client work. So we're going to dive into what the hashtag certified Walk West way means, how AI is shaping client services, and how we are encouraging our teams and clients to explore AI with curiosity and purpose. Susie, welcome.
Thank you.
How's it feel to be on this side of the camera?
Good. Love
she
it.
said good.
We're ready.
She's like, I'm going to be on this on the reg. But I want to dive in because, I'm relatively new here, so I didn't know all of this about you, but you've worked with brands like Crocs, Josh Cellars, Pendleton Whiskey, Charlotte FC, the North Carolina Department of Transportation. Whew. How has your approach to client services evolved in the recent years?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always stayed relatively the same. I'm a very people-first account executive, account leader, so I really like to dive in, know what my clients like, what they don't like, how they learn, too, because I think that helps us really shape the way that we provide them information. But I think over the years, it's really just stayed the same, that I really like to dive in and get to know them first, and then help me dive in to understand what's problems they have and how we can help fix them.
Curiosity mindset.
Yes.
Absolutely. And because this is the AI show, I want to hear about how AI started to show up for you at Walk West. What was your story? How did you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think AI, like when we talk about it now, it feels very new and fresh, but I always go back to Siri is a great example for me. I've been using it for years to set timers and alarms and reminders. So it's always been there. Spell check, like all of that's always been around, but now it's really evolved into using more of those large language models. So I think it's always been there, but now it's really taking off and using it in a different way.
Yeah. Did you ever have any anxiety about it once it really became mainstream kind of in the work culture way?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know that it's like anxiety. I think it still goes back to that curiosity. It's not ever going to replace what I do, and I would love to see it try. But I mean, I think it's just getting in and understanding how you can use it and where it really has its best value.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that Greg and I often talk about are the 5 C's of humanity, and curiosity being one of them. It can know all of these things and generate all of this content, but it's never going to really get to that why behind the why behind the why.
Yeah.
And really get to the root of that. So how are you using it now at Walk West, internally, client-facing? I kind of really want to dive in here because I know people have a lot of questions when it comes to AI and the client side. But first, let's talk about internal use.
Yeah, so internally, we use Asana as a project management system. They have a great AI built in, so I use it pretty frequently to just gut check timelines, gut check what I have already built out from my knowledge, or even give me that starting point that then I can fine-tune. Really just because it helps speed things along, and a lot of times there's just things that can get missed that it might pick up on. But even outside of that, we use Gemini, so using that a lot from either kickoff questions is a great example. We have some that we've used for years, but where we might be able to tailor it, or even giving that deeper dive into a client and what its ecosystem is looking like, so that we're better prepared kind of jumping into a project.
Are you using it on that research end to really kind of just source all their websites and pull all that information? How do you know if the information's it pulls is correct.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of it goes back to like fact checking. So I won't always take it at face value. You still do your own deep dive, but it gives you at least a place to jump in and start. So especially I like to use it from a competitive analysis point of view. So sometimes clients have who they think, but it might pull something differently. So using it as kind of a checks and balances. And then always asking clients too, like, this is what I'm kind of seeing. Does that make sense to you, or does that feel off?
Does anything look weird?
Yeah,
absolutely. I've used it before to do a SWOT analysis between two clients, and it worked really great for about 75% of what I needed it to do. And the other 25% was like, whoa, where the heck did that come from? And it was so out there that even I knew it was wrong. But I love that because it really does help open your eyes and give you more potential possibilities for the client when you compare and contrast with different competitors out there. So it's super interesting. Okay. I have been seeing all over social media, all over LinkedIn, #certified Walk West Way. Can you tell me what that's about?
Yeah. So it's a great internal initiative that we've kicked off, really helping to explore our team's curiosity and getting them more comfortable with using AI. So what we've been doing is over the past 3 months, having every team member play around in Coursera, play around with what AI certifications make sense for them, and really just being able to dive in. I think they have a great resource of variety of content too, so it makes it a little bit more adaptive for what I might be interested in is very different than what a creative team member might be using AI for. So it really allows you to kind of choose your own industry, choose your own focus, and then explore what options are out there. So I mean, I know we have our AI kind of tech stack, but what are those other things that companies are using that we might be able to adopt as well?
Interesting. And I love it. I overheard it. It was #BotGirlSummer. And I was like, that's it for me. I'm done. I'm on that team. I don't even know who's on it, but I'm on that team. All right. So now let's talk about AI with the client, because we talked about doing it for competitive research, kind of getting our curiosity, our creativity going. How are you making sure that client privacy and confidentiality are always respected? It's always just tight, buttoned up. The client feels secure.
Yeah, I mean, I think we do it in a variety of ways. There's a lot of ways to keep animosity.
Animosity. Yeah.
Keep animosity as you're doing searching. So if we use Google as a company, so we have that at a corporate level, but even sometimes it's nice to kind of cross-reference with ChatGPT or other providers too. So where we don't have that corporate level, using a little bit more ambiguous search and making sure that privacy is still considered is always kind of top of mind. But I think we can do it in a variety of ways too. A lot of times what we're searching and kind of looking for isn't something that would be super confidential. So it's not like we're putting data or analytics or first-party data into an AI tool that we wouldn't have a corporate level agreement with. So really keeping that in mind and making sure that we're not opening up any bucks.
And I'm assuming you're being very transparent with the client about, hey, here is how we use AI. This is how your data will be used, protected, and make sure that they're both comfortable with that. Are you finding that most companies are okay, or do you think that there are some that are still kind of hesitant about providing that data?
Yeah, I think we see it in a variety. I think it goes back to how it's being used. I don't know that anyone has ever, expressed concerns with us using it to have note-taking or, generating questions for interviews or anything like that. But especially when it comes to more of the analysis, more of using their first-party data, I think that's where there's still some level of concern. So it really just goes back to understanding what their policy is as well and how we can adhere to that, but also be more efficient on our end.
See, this is what's so interesting to me, because I think everybody is accustomed to the note-taking, because that's been going on for years. People are like, it's great. It's wonderful for ADA compliance and this, that, and the other. And so they're fine with entire conversations being recorded, which in my HR world, that's like, oh, God, no. But now they're like, no, don't put my data into AI. And I kind of want to say, like, it's almost already there. I mean, I know there's a lot that's not out there. There's IP and things like that, but most data is already out there. Do you find that people have a heavy concern about where their client data is going once it's inside like the WalkWest AI? Or do they feel pretty good about the safeguards?
That's a good question. I actually don't know. I think we haven't really run into it yet. So I think for the most part, what we're doing and using is within, our regulations. So there's not any outward concern. But I think that's a good question.
I also think because Walk West is doing so much AI internally, training-wise, externally, that it's like, okay, we know what we're doing, which, spoiler alert, we do. But that's really interesting. Okay, I want to hear a use case. Like, I love hearing tangible use cases. So do you have a story you can tell me when AI helped solve a client challenge or maybe made a team process more efficient?
Yeah. I mean, I think a area that I work within a lot is within web design and development. And I will be very honest that is not always my forte. It's not my background, but it's something that I like kind of exploring. So when we go into a new product launch, a bigger website launch, QA and testing is super, super important. And I used it last year for a pretty big launch that helped me build out some test casing for our team to use, but also for the client to use, because they really needed that documented from every angle of how users are coming into the website, how they're going through a checkout experience, and what that looks like. And I think, with QA and testing, there's always a level of human error, and it's honestly appreciated because that's how you find bugs and how you find, ways to fix the site. So I used it I gave the website that we were using where we knew that people would be coming in and helping to build out what are all those test cases that we might need to look at. So really using it to compare against what we already had internally and find, other areas of entry points that we might not have initially considered, and being able to really build that out in a more robust way.
I like it. I want to ask this question too. If you were mentoring, a mini Susie and saying, hey, here's how you should first start using AI, what would be the very first step that you would give little baby Susie?
Yeah. I mean, I would say use it in a way that makes sense for you. I feel like a broken record, but a lot of it goes back to like the curiosity side of it. So if there's a question that you have, honestly, compare and contrast. Put it into Google, put it into a chat, and see what the differences come back to. But I think really it's just kind of jumping in and figuring out the way that it makes sense for how you work and learn. And then over time, you'll get more comfortable and be able to use it in additional ways. But I think especially now where it used to be, just Google a question, now you have something that can go a step further.
Girl, I can't even Google a question anymore is all I know. But I just go straight to ChatGPT. But what I also find so interesting and I think is going to be really key for adoption and successful adoption is if we approach playing with AI like a kid, right? Because, and I'm thinking about this weekend with my daughter, we were doing this new arts and crafts project. And of course, she was not getting everything in a straight line, beautiful, perfect. She's 7. And she's like, it's not good. And I'm like, you have to practice. You have to get better. You have to try different techniques and see what works and see what doesn't. And these first few ones are going to be really messy. And now I'm seeing that through that lens of like, that's how we need to be teaching our people to use AI, talking to our clients about using AI and letting them know like, hey, the first few times you do this, it's not going to look great. So like, let's practice. Let's do some low stakes things. And then as we get better, let's advance.
Absolutely.
That's what I'd tell baby Susie. I love it. Okay, I want to talk biz dev because you and our fantastic account executive, Andrew, have recently used AI for some biz dev pitches. Do you want to tell me about that?
Sure. So I think this goes back to ways that we can use it in just a smarter way. Typically, when we're doing a new biz or kind of presentation pitch, there's a lot of research that goes into it. So getting that understanding of the industry that we're looking at, competitors, the company itself, where there's areas of opportunity for us to jump in. And we used it for a local company that was looking at doing a big launch. They're coming up on their 100th anniversary. So what are examples of other companies locally that have done a centennial kind of announcement, but also they had some concerns around just like public understanding and persona of what they do, who they compete with, really how they operate. And we were able to put that into the deep research in Gemini and pull a variety of different, competitors, how they how they
differ?
how they differ, how they differ from other areas, and then also look into what is that like customer sentiment and what are people saying online that we might be able to use to help show other areas of opportunity for them. That yes, they're coming up to a big year for their company, but also here's what people are saying about you, and how can we use that to tailor insights to really make this better. So it really helps just expedite the process. I think previously it would take us a couple of weeks to really get that amount of information and understanding of a client, and would do more, kickoffs and have more of that face-to-face time, where now I think it really helped us stand apart because we already had a great understanding of what they were looking for, and really helped us stand apart of being able to come to the table with action ideas right from the beginning.
Yeah, so many interesting things you could do with it too, right? When just talking about how you can train your AIs to adopt their language, their lingo, their culture, their vibes, everything. There's no learning curve. So it's just, again, it baffles me. But all right, girl, I have seen in the Slack channels, she didn't know I was going to talk about Slack, but I have seen in the Slack channels, you are encouraging your team to test AI with clients. And I was like, oh, girl, because as an HR person, leaders need to do that. So thank you. But why do you think it's important that these teams experiment?
I think it's really just getting comfortable with it. Like you said, it's a lot of practicing. And I think the way to make it less scary or less intimidating is just by doing it. And sometimes it's doing it in a way that makes sense for what you're interested in too. So I kind of go back to how we're doing the AI certifications, and you can change them based on what you want to learn more about. I kind of approach it similarly with our team. So we were doing just like an internal challenge across our teams to do some deep research on either an industry that you want to learn more about for a client if you're stuck and you don't really know what else we might be able to recommend to them, or just anything that's of interest to you, and really be able to take that, pull together a really comprehensive document for our team of here's what they're seeing as an industry trend. Here's, areas that is that they're struggling or that they're excelling right now, and how we can take that and really use it to our advantage and learn from it. So it gives us some learning, which is fun in its own sense, but then also the ability to really just jump in and use the tools, and then take it a step further and have it dissect it and make it into a presentation deck, or do something to make it a little bit more tangible, so that we're just more comfortable and able to pull those type of recommendations really quickly.
Yeah. Let's talk about the culture of failure.
Yeah.
Because I think when you're experimenting, you have to really be okay with a culture. I cannot say that word today. Culture of failure. Do you openly share your fails with AI, and does your team share theirs? And like, if they do, what's a really good fail?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that was a part of this experiment too, is that I wanted to see how do we use it? Are there things that like we might be like, ooh, that just did not work the way we thought it was going to? And really, you don't know until you do it. So I think as a team, we're always open. Part of our weekly meetings together, we'll talk about success and challenges, because I don't really think there's ever a true failure unless, I don't know. I don't even know what that would look like. Yeah, unless you quit.
And like, it's the wrong kind of quitting. But
yeah, but so I don't think there's really ever the fail of it. It's just where do we learn and where do we shift from it? But I mean, I think I will share a lot of mine. I used AI to create an onboarding deck because we have a new account executive joining us next week. We're really excited about. And I think the first prompt that I used to kind of create some onboarding materials for it, I was like, oh, one, it was
yes,
just,
girl. I was like, they looked good. You did that with AI?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good job.
The first round, though, was real ugly. And I was like, I'm not putting that in front of her. No. But that was like a good, trial and error. And then I learned what prompt was working for it and what wasn't, and how to kind of shift it.
Well, dang, girl, next time you got to say, hey, Erica, like BT dubs, I did this with AI because I just thought you spent a lot of time on
No.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right. What kind of advice would you give, let's say, our new team member who's joining your team next week? What kind of advice would you give her about AI as she joins Walk West?
I think really just embrace it. It's something that, we're learning collectively, and there is no right or wrong. There is no fail per se that can happen with it. So really just jump in and see, as part of like her onboarding, we have a great kind of exercise too of as you're getting to know the clients that you're working on and areas of opportunity, use AI to help identify that and bring you up to speed quicker, but also come to the table with, exciting new opportunities. And I think it helps just all of us grow and is a good kind of use case, but really just jump in. Like there's no right or wrong. And a lot of her onboarding too, outside of client work, will be doing some of the certification work that we're doing as an organization too.
Yeah, I was going to say, because we're giving her the 3 months for Coursera, so she'll be able to dive in. And that's what I love about how we're training people is it's kind of like pick your poison, find what works for you. If you want to learn about that topic and AI, cool. And guess what? You have the rest of everything on Coursera too. So just go nuts, So I think that's awesome that we're hitting the ground running with that right away. All right, I want to talk about some of the other tools like Granola. That's my personal fan fave. That's what I use. Gemini for research, Chat for all the things. All in all, how do you feel AI is enhancing your client services, your active listening skills so that you can really pay attention to the client?
I love Granola. I appreciate all of y'all for jumping on to the train because it made me finally pull the trigger to it, and I love it. So I use Granola.
Organized notes.
It's incredible.
Here's your to-dos. Here's what you said. Ugh.
And I think that's really been a game changer that as, we're growing as a team, and it helps take away some people that are needed on meetings in a good way, because I think for a long time as, an early account executive, that was like my only job was note taking during client meetings, and you had to make sure that everything was buttoned up and correct.
Also a plug for gender equality because it's always the women who are taking the notes.
Fair. But yeah, I think now using Granola, it helps me be more of an active listener during meetings so that I'm not as focused on writing down everything that was said and underlining, but it's still able to, bold things as people are saying it or type it as I'm identifying that like that's a key point so that I can come back to it and I know that it is taking notes more closely around that area. But I think it's really made it a lot more seamless because then I'm able to be thinking and asking, engaged questions during a meeting versus focused on more of just like the day-to-day task of making sure that our team's set up moving forward.
Yes, and I don't know about you, but I used it the other day in a room full of like ADHD, caffeinated cheer bombs, trying to coordinate schedules and whatnot. And it was like a ping pong ball going nuts inside a microwave. And Granola just took all that and they were like, Erica, here's what you need to do. Here's what these moms need to do. And I was like, oh, thank God.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Looking ahead, if you look, let's say 6 months to a year out, how do you see AI even more so evolving the role of client services here at Walk West?
It's a great question. I mean, I don't think anyone knows, which is kind of the cool and like beauty of it. I'll be excited to see where it takes us. I think overall it'll just make our team a lot more efficient and really able to better service our clients because we'll be able to have just this magnitude of resources that we didn't have before. So I'm excited to see. I don't know.
Yes, I think the plethora of time, too, that you can already get back in your day to focus on the things that matter with the client is like the biggest gift.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, Susie, my favorite game. It's Last Chat. And I've got some good Last Chats up in my thing because as we were talking, I was like, oh, actually, this is the last thing that's in my Last Chat. And I'm a little embarrassed about that one, too. But this is where we pull out our favorite chat tool, Gemini, ChatGPT, whatever. Share the prompt, share the context if you need to. Yeah. What's yours, girl?
I mean, I know we just talked about I used it for onboarding, so helping pull together a ton of other resources that we had and help consolidate it to make it a little bit more digestible. So that's like my work case of chat. My personal case is that we are, jumping into fall. My yard has had so much rain and craziness over the summer. So I was using it over the weekend to be like, what plants can I plant that will not die? And where do I get them? So I was using that over the weekend and doing a mock-up too to see what it would look like so that I could convince my husband to buy said plants for
Oh my gosh. I love that. I actually saw somebody post about that in like a local Wake Forest, like how do I design this for my client? I love that.
Yes.
Okay. Here's why I'm really embarrassed about what I have to share today. And that is because if you have been listening to this podcast for any length in time, you know that I love to hate on Greg Boone for his stupid song making things. And unfortunately, I have to report that I have fallen victim to that as of this morning. Because my son needs a walk-up song for baseball, and all the good ones are picked, and nobody can find one that he likes. So I was like, what if I create one? And I'm like, no, you can't do it because you've been making fun of Greg for how long for this? So I did download Suno for the first time ever, and I put in all of the information well, I don't want to say that here because I have a small child, but I put in all his information, and I told him it's like they like Kendrick Lamar mixed with Connor Price, which if you don't know what that means, just be happy. And it spit out some very great songs that I'm going to present him and be like, nobody's going to have these. Like, it's going to be the most unique individual, song out there. So it's very embarrassing only because I've been hating on Greg. So nobody say anything about this, and we'll see if he listens to the episode, and we'll see if I have to admit it publicly to him. But then for my professional one, I was up in my chat and I was talking to it about different podcast guest recommendations to really up my pitching game for my other podcast. And so I was like, give me some of the top 25 podcasts. And I asked it for different information about what is it about. And then what I plan to do is take those lists and then plug that information into Notebook LM to cross-reference it with my podcast and all of my guests to see if I have any N-1s. So like, hey, we have this mutual friend, Susie. She was both on our podcast, to see if I can then warm pitch my way in.
Yeah, you're on another level.
Whew. Whew. That's the lesson. Oh my gosh. Well, Susie, thank you so much for joining, for giving your time. I love how you really bring curiosity and also like just experimentation and how you're just embracing it with the team and using AI at WalkWest. So thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us on AI, Voice or Victim. If you want to stay competitive in the AI age, start now. Take one insight from today's episode and put it into practice in the next 24 hours. Make sure to follow us, share your thoughts, and subscribe for more actionable AI insights. See you next time.